All right, here we go. Let's get in there and get dirty, shall we? Interesting.
Good evening. 좋은 저녁이에요.
Presenting his new solo single.
Lost.
저는 이 노래를 너무 좋아요.
그는 오늘 밤 우리 위해 공연해요. Performing for us tonight.
Give it up for RM.
Goddamn lost. I've never been to a club before I hit the club. I never felt so free before your goddamn girls. I never felt so fine before I hit the club. Hold up, damn now thinking and worrying.
Wow.
정신 보니 어느새 나 통인 거래. 시간은 손살 14살긴 벌써 30. And I look up in the sky, it's a silver cloud, you hurry. Dump it underground, pick it up, throw it in the trunk. Dump it underground, pick it up, throw it in the trunk. Dump it underground, pick it up, throw it in the trunk. Dump it underground, pick it up, now let's go dump. Dump it underground shit. Dump it underground shit.
This is not even remotely close to the sound that I was expecting to come from Junie. Okay, I'm listening.
자꾸 넘어져 피가 흐르는 중 I get lost in the ground 반납하긴 했죠 I'm goddamn lost Goddamn lost I've never been to a club before I hit the club I hit the club I never felt so free before your goddamn girls I never felt so fine before I hit the club I got temptation I got temptation. Every morning, every night, I always feel lifeless. And in the morning, I feel love, I hug it in excitement. Every morning, every night, I always feel excitement. When I feel lonely as fuck, I still lifeless. I'm never loving alone, feeling lightless. I'm goddamn lost. I never been to a club before I hit the club.
Damn, that's tasty.
I never felt so free before your goddamn girls. I never felt so fine before I hit the club. I never felt so free before. I got temptation. I got temptation. I got temptation. I got temptation. I got temptation.
That was
Incredible.
Lost is out everywhere.
Give it up for RM.
This is so interesting.
I got temptation. I got temptation.
Clever.
I got temptation. I got temptation. I got them.
Well. Sound and genre-wise, I was so not expecting that. I was so not expecting that. Man, it makes me even more curious to know what the rest of the album's going to sound like. So different. So here's what I would say. Here's what I say so far. As far as the sound itself goes, the sound of the song.
공연해요.
I get lost. Take it for the low lighters.
Before I hit the club, I never felt so free before your God.
Man, I don't even know what I would label this as genre-wise. It's some kind of fusion, but
Goes.
like there's some funk, there's some pop synth. This would be like Gino's indie electronic. Yeah, I mean, it's so there's so much happening. Now I like it. I don't love it. And I think the only thing that would make me love it is if it were like one of the genres that I am just immediately drawn to. Like if it's rap, if it's Junie rapping, I'm almost guaranteed to love it. Because it's rap. Like I'm a hip hop guy. I'm not a hip hop guy. I'm a guy who enjoys hip hop. Let's be really clear about that. Rap, yes. Electronic, yes. Those are the genres that like you're gonna suck me in like easily. This funk fusion.
Never felt so fine before I hit the club. Hold up. Damn, now thank you, don't worry.
Yeah, it's catchy. It's a bop. I totally dig it. But I'm not exploding the way that I did with Come Back to Me, which, of course, ironically, was none of the genres that I just named. But it had that acoustic, soft, raw feel that is just Junie. Junie being the introspective kind of guy that he is. That made perfect sense. This is left field. Wait, that's right. Left. This is left field for Junie. But here's what I will say. Coming from my perspective as a director, there's going to be some commentary here. That's what I think. Of course, it's Junie. But the catch is what? Right? I mean, like, we got some quick shots here. Like right here, the elevator and this tag says nowhere. I don't know what this says. Could say peanut. Could say Pierre nuts. I don't know. But nowhere. And it's Junie. So we have to, like, what's he trying to say? Besides, he's the best mom. So let's kind of back up here and let's see what the highlights are in terms of what we think sticks out thematically. So first and foremost, opening shot inside Junie's brain. Okay, so we have some context moving forward. I do think it's interesting, though, that this is also the same type of name tag that we see when it's somebody wearing one that says, like, hello, my name is, right? I think there's something there. Now, I don't remember if we saw one of those, but it has that feel to it. So is that another layer? Now, right to the maze. Some people are casual, some people are trying to climb out. Now, something about this feels really fourth wall to me. Outsider looking in, but then somebody on the inside looking back out. Very fourth wall.
Good evening. 좋은 저녁이에요.
There's definitely a level of authenticity that's being highlighted here. And I say authenticity, I also mean a lack of authenticity. It feels like something here is very like in your face. There's a facade here I want you to pay attention to. It's not real. The personalities are not true. They're not consistent. That's what my gut says. Does that make sense?
Presenting his new solo single.
Lost.
저는 이 노래를 너무 좋아요.
그는 오늘 밤 우리 위해 공연해요. Performing for us tonight.
Give it up for RM.
I'll tell you what it also makes me think of. This might be a stretch. And I know you'll know what I'm talking about, especially this last bit from the person on the right.
Performing for us tonight.
Watch the reaction here introducing BTS. How many times have we talked about, and I've been hit with it too. Oh, you're just talking about BTS because they're a given. They're easy. You can talk about them and ARMY will flood in and support you, right? So this level of upping the reaction is very like, okay, if I'm excited about it, people will come in and they'll love me automatically because I'm excited about it.
Give it up for RM.
It's very, very forced is a good word. And you notice they even held that shot. Watch her face here. Okay, smile, and then we let it sit through the transition just long enough to see that go away again. See it? So now Junie's in the maze.
I get low, I get low. Take it for the low, I get lost. Take it for the low, I get lost.
I think it's also interesting that Junie is lip syncing what is clearly not his voice. I think that's a part of it too. I think there's a lot of layers here. Now we're back in the maze. We got multiple Junies, which also kind of references back to the Come Back to Me, I think. We talking parallels, we talking different multiverse kind of thing. I don't know. Also stairs. You see the stairs here in the bottom of the shot? Could be coincidence. Generally, we don't really believe in coincidences with these cats because they're sneaky. But we got multiple Junes, we got a maze again, and we have stairs again. Remember stairs from Come Back to Me reference some of the MC Escher art that we kind of broke down?
Take it for the low, it was you.
See, more deadpan, actor on the right, and then more Junie on the left. And this shot to me also with Junie being behind the camera, this also says to me there is a nod to the fact that we are looking through a different aperture, okay, which is the camera. The camera is the center focus of this shot. You think it's Junie, and they want you to see him, obviously, but this being the object, he could have been somebody else just standing with a clipboard. But I think this camera is part of what they're trying to say. And this right here is what I was talking about when I said somebody, like we're outsiders looking in, and then somebody on the inside is going to be looking back out. This is the epitome of Junie introspection, that he's always trying to figure out 10 steps ahead, like the multiple versions, whether it's, okay, if I do this, I could become this person. Or if I do this, I could have, you know what I mean? Like there's that, I feel like that's how Junie's brain works. And he's always searching for these different bits of knowledge from different locations and time periods and types of expression to help him formulate what he connects with, what he doesn't. He takes those pieces and then he kind of reevaluates himself given that new information. That to me feels like Junie's brain. So I think a lot of this, in my opinion, is very on brand with that level of thinking that I think he that's how he functions.
I'm goddamn lost. I never been to a club before I hit the club. I never felt so free before.
Nowhere there's maybe a face at 150. I don't think there's going to be too much in here, honestly. I think they're going to hide stuff. Okay, so right now on the right side, we've got an arrow to 44 that says right place, wrong person, written on the wall. And we've got nowhere down here. Now, knowing Junie and how deep he's going to go with this, and I include not just Junie. It's not like Junie is pulling all the pieces together, but the crew that is working with Junie, I have to assume that, like, we've got 3 dots on the button of 150, on the light, right? The button. We've got 2 dots on 98. We have a 666 button. I don't put anything outside of the realm of possibility with the layers that could be here. I mean, in some stretches of academia, 42 is known as the perfect number. Like, it just depends on where you're looking, right? But 44 is right place, wrong person. I don't know. Oh, hold on. Got a reflection here.
I never felt so free before.
Right there. Now we've got a smiley face on 81. Which was not there before. In the eye, we have 101, and then the smiley face. Right there. Interesting. Okay. 42 is also a reference to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Okay. Nice. The album or songs will not be for everyone, but if you listen to it without reading too much into the song, you will know some of the music he wanted to do for the last 10 years. I'm sure that this is probably some of the music he's been wanting to do, maybe some experimental stuff, but I'm going to look into it pretty deep. I'm going to be obnoxious about it. Just so you know, this buckle up.
Goes. I never felt so far before I hit the club.
See, that's interesting.
I never felt so free before your goddamn ghost. I never felt so far.
The reaction difference here between the group and then him.
Before I hit the club.
Yeah, some of them not even paying attention, but he's very aware.
Hold up. Damn, now thank you, don't worry. Just try to.
Interesting. What do you think this says? What does this say to you? Does anything stick out? I mean, obviously the difference between their position and the rest of it. What do you think they're trying to portray here? No balance, maybe? Okay. A little off tilt. Disorientation, maybe? It's pretty good. Okay. And you say off balance or no balance, disoriented. I guess it all tie together. I feel like it could also be maybe a misalignment or a lack of connection with the world around you in a way. Feeling unstable, yeah. Needing to adjust to the floor. The notice board full of letters. I did see that. And it looks like plans. They look like plans that could potentially be for the maze. Or something like it, right? A lot of information, though.
Just try to bony understand not talking God. She got inside, your side get busted dirty.
So we're back to multiple planes, multiple versions, could be different times, not just like planes.
And I look up in the sky, it's a silver cloud, you hurry. Tell it underground, pick it up, throw it in the
I feel like this screams hamster wheel. Capital P, hamster wheel. Now we get into like the rat race aspect. Like we've got the offices, the cubicles, very closed in. Everybody's dressed the same. So I feel like this is kind of leading in that direction. It's the water cooler. The water cooler is the quintessential, like, this is where the rumors happen. This is where all the gossip takes place, you know? Yeah, the monotony.
Dump it underground, pick it up, throw it in the trunk. Dump it underground, pick it up, throw it in the trunk. Dump it underground, pick it up. Now let's go dump. Dump it underground shit. Dump it underground shit. 난 자꾸 넘어져 피가 흐르는 중. I get lost in the ground, but I'm bagging at you. Goddamn lost. Goddamn lost. I've never been to club before.
See, this feels very linear / two-dimensional to me. This feels like we've pulled out of the three-dimensional world and gone into a two-dimensional world. Now, for you gamers, you understand the linear two-dimensional aspect of what we call platformers. So games like the original Super Mario Brothers, where it's two-dimensional, you're watching him jump from ledge to ledge and then jump on Goombas and turtle heads and things like that. It's very platformer. It's very linear. But now we're kind of in that mode where it's there's not much happening. Two-dimensional.
I hit the club. I never felt so free before. Your goddamn ghost. I never felt so far before.
I have to know. So back to the water coolers. So now we have Post-its that say 3 exclamation points. We've got an up arrow. Up. Okay.
Never felt so far before. I hit the cloud. I got temptation. I got temptation.
The next time we do a Purfest or a Fireball Friday and you start yelling at me to hydrate, I should do this. I'm not going to do this, but I should do this. Drink water, hydrate, drink water. Oh my God.
Every morning, every night, I always feel lifeless. And in the morning, I
Hold on.
Always feeling lifeless. And in the morning I feel love, I hug it in excitement.
Huh. I tell you, I'm kind of wrapped around this water cooler thing right now. In so many of the shots, there's this water cooler. And in like office culture, and some of you can confirm this, you can deny this, because I could be wrong. I've never technically worked in like an office space, like a corporate office space. So I'm just kind of going by what I see through media, TV shows and movies and things like that, right? The water cooler is where the gossip happens. This is where the rumors are kind of born and spread. I have to wonder if this is, going back to the original commentary we talked about, if this is something. Will we see this notion of rumors or gossip in some way, or false information, be a main character throughout the trajectory of the album? Right? Maybe. Let's keep that in mind. Because remember, we're breaking this down today as far as Lost goes. But come tomorrow, when we break down the whole album, by the time this song pops up, it could have a completely different connotation given the rest of the album. Right? So right now we're finding the seeds. We're going to plant the seeds.
Every morning, every night, I always feel excitement. When I feel lonely as fog, I still lifeless. I'm never loving alone, gonna lightless. I'm goddamn lost. I never been to club before I hit the club. I never felt so free before.
And this exit is another thing. We see the exit strewn throughout the whole video, but it's never quite acknowledged until right
club before I hit the club.
Here. Boom. We see it at 3:43.
I never felt so free before your goddamn girls.
Now, for those of you fellow gamers, you might remember from the Nintendo 64, there was one of the most iconic games ever created that was GoldenEye 007, where co-op, playing head-to-head with your partners, where you could screen look at where they were. As soon as this shot happened, I was like, huh, I know there's a guy in the toilet, and I've got a suppressed PP7. That's not an innuendo, that's a weapon. This is where I went. Now, I know that's not part of it, but for those of you that would understand, there you go.
I never felt so free before. I got temptation. I got temptation. I got temptation.
Faces and ding-dings. Sorry, wing-wings. That's what you have to watch out for when you do a human ladder like this. Faces and wing-wings. It's in the manual.
Temptation. I got temptation. I got temptation.
That was
Incredible.
Lost is out everywhere.
Give it up for RM.
This shot is really interesting. You know why? Because they let it hold for so long. And the only reason you do that is because, one, you want to make the viewer sit in the space and feel what you're trying to present. There's one. Two, they want you to see something that you wouldn't see with a 3-second cut.
got temptation.
Thoughts? Feeding into the false hype? Waiting to see if he got out? Interesting. Different line? So this shot right here was used in the teaser, is that right? Hearing how creepy it sounds from here, that's interesting. Teaser was used in the same, they used the same shot. Okay. Maybe I'll check that out next, see what compares. Interesting. Flickering the brain, firing neurons. That's interesting. Because remember, we are technically inside Junie's brain, right? So are all these different people? Are they thoughts? Little cluster of neurons flying around. Emotions. Interesting. Oh, I didn't even catch this before. You see this one little shot here, this area between the floors. First of all, I will say right now, if Junie or any of the guys for that matter were ever crawling upon you, this would be your face. I guarantee. Oh, you need a closer look? Right there. There you go. That would be you. A lot more drool, just sticky everywhere. I got to call Tad to come clean. It's a big thing. So look at this area between the floors.
Got temptation.
We've got the left side has a bunch of, I think, books. Books are, I'm pretty sure they're books. We've got some kind of, I don't know if it's a trophy or some kind of statue or figure right here. And then we've got some suitcases. I don't know what that is, but suitcases and books. Okay. Books feel like Junie. Books are a staple. Yeah, he travels a lot. Makes sense.
I got temptation.
Oh, baggage is in his mind. I really like that. That's really interesting. Not only baggage on the right side, but like we know how much of a reader, how much of a thirst for knowledge that he has. Because from my understanding, you guys are always talking about being thirsty. I assume you're talking about being thirsty for knowledge. That's probably where the books come in, all this knowledge. But then maybe this is some of the baggage that he's carrying around, perhaps. Interesting. I like that.
I got temptation. I got temptation.
That was.
Incredible.
Lost is out everywhere.
Give it up for RM.
Yeah, that was a pretty significant pause. Whoever it was that said maybe it was like she forgot his name, I could kind of see that. I'm going to check out the trailer next. And I want to read the lyrics through real quick and see if there's anything that's highlighted, because it's easier to see it all laid out in one. I want to see the teaser for this, because truth be told, there could be things in the teaser that are not in the video, or they're done in a different way, which we talked about. Boom. Buttons. Yeah. Okay. 19 seconds.
Goddamn lost.
Nope, that told me nothing. I mean, I know it's a different line, but nope. It's a good teaser because it would make me go, what the what? The music is a little different too, but I think that's just, they wanted a little bit more of that part of the song within the 19 seconds. That's what that tells me.
Goddamn lost.
Okay. Let's get us some lyrics, shall we? So those of you that was your first time while I pull up these lyrics, what are your thoughts? If it was your first time with the video, what were your thoughts? Do you anything in there that you think we're missing, or theories that you've heard or you think for yourself? I would be curious to hear all of those. The Spider-Man meme, all the Spider-Men in a circle. Yeah, it makes sense. I could see that. Okay, let's see here. Let's get lost. Oh, that's interesting. I hadn't thought of that, Perry. In conjunction with the Spider-Man reference, the meme, you got RM, Rap Monster. You got Namjoon. You got... I wonder if it'd be all else like a BTS RM, you know? Like there's RM when he's by himself and there's RM when he's with the group. Or if it's just a commentary on all of those dynamics. Okay, let's see. Lost. Got it. All right, I'm just going to read these out, okay? This is the lyrics for Lost. Profanity check, in case you didn't catch that from the video we just watched. All right. Lost. Love. How you get in love? Like, oh. How you get love? Take it for the love, like, oh. How do you get lost? Take it from the love like us. How do you get lost? Take full of love like us. Now, I will also throw this disclaimer real quick. Some of these songs, as we go through the album, some of them are going to be translations. Not all of them. Some of it's English, but some of them are going to be translations. For those of you that will inevitably get upset because the translation is slightly off, in time, it'll get corrected, but we need something to go off of. So even if it's only 90% accurate, I would rather have that 90% to kind of work through than wait 3 weeks for the 100% to come through that even, I don't even know if it's, I have no idea. Yeah. So bear with us as we go through this. Let's see. How do you get lost? Take full of love like us. It was you. It was you. Chorus. I'm goddamn lost. I've never been to club before. I hit the club. I never felt so free before. You're a goddamn ghost. I never felt so fine before. I hit the cloud. Hold up. Damn now. Thank you. Don't worry. I jump into it. Suddenly, I'm in an empty seat. Time flies like an arrow. 14, now they're 30. And I look up in the sky. I see silver cloud. Yo, hurry. Dump it on the ground. Pick it up, throw it in the trunk. Dump it on the ground, pick it up. Now let's go dumb. I keep tripping. I can't stop bleeding. I get lost in the ground, but not begging at you. I'm lost. Your ghost. I never felt so fine before. I hit the cloud. I got temptation. Twice. Every morning, every night. I always feeling lifeless. And in the morning, I feel love. I hug it in excitement. Every morning, every night, I always feel in sickness. When I feel lonely as fuck, I still got lifeless. I'll never know when I'm low. It's gonna be lightless. I'm lost. I never felt so free before. Wait a second. I'm lost. I never been to club before. I hit the club. I never felt so free before. You're a ghost. I never felt so fine before. I hit the cloud. I never felt so free before. I got temptation. I got them. I don't know what the hell's going on with that song. I have no idea. Besides, I'm lost. And then the cues of... I jump into it. Suddenly, I'm in an empty... it's street. I was saying seat. I'm in an empty street. Time flies like an arrow. 14, now they're 30. And I look up in the sky, I see silver cloud, yo hurry. Here's what I think that means, those 3 lines. I jump into it, suddenly I'm in an empty street. Okay, so far so good. Time flies like an arrow, 14, and now they're 30. I look up in the sky, I see a silver cloud. To me, that almost sounds like the scene from 300, where you see the arrows coming through, and then the arrows actually make the sky darker because there's so many. Time speeds up as we get older. That could be one interpretation. You know that line from Good Will Hunting where Ben Affleck says, tomorrow you're going to wake up and you're going to be 50. And I think Ben Affleck was like 25 at the time in the movie. Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. The point being, that feels like this. I jump into it. Suddenly, I'm in an empty street. Boom. I'm 12 years old. Time flies like an arrow. 14, now they're 30. It's that fast. You look up, and time is just flying. And I don't know about you, but for those of you that are a little wise, like me, kind of been around the block a couple times, it feels like as we get older, time moves faster. Would anybody agree with that? You can also disagree with that, but I feel like that's a thing. And I don't know if that's a generational thing from the fact that we're almost wired in and we have so many distractions that we're almost sometimes not allowing ourselves to be bored. Okay? I don't know. That's probably a whole commentary that we could go in that direction, but I do feel like knowing Junie, knowing how introspective he is, he's always thinking about time. There's not enough time to do what he wants to do. There's not enough time in the day to read the books that he wants to read, to go to the museums that he wants to see, all the art, the things that he wants to know. There is not enough time for him to do those things. On top of the mental processing that he will inevitably do when he does all of these things. Yeah. So those 3 lines kind of stuck out to me. Outside of that, I have to wonder which pieces of this lyrically will make more sense as we get a little deeper into the album. That's what I'm thinking. Like, this kind of confuses me. It says in the chorus, I'm goddamn lost, which it has an added note of frustration to it. Lyrically, I never been to club before. I hit the club. I never felt so free before. If we take that and kind of package it together, that could be interpreted as I've lived inside this box, which the maze is the maze is the maze through both videos. But then I did it. I stepped outside the maze, outside the box. and I've never felt so free before. So even if we take Lost out of the equation from the video standpoint and we take this chunk of the lyrics, I want you to think back to the video of Come Back to Me. Do you remember the last scene where she kind of guides Junie through that final door? The door opens and the two of them walk out, and they're outside of that whole scene that we thought was everything. We kind of get to see behind the curtain, and they're walking in the maze. That's the break of the fourth wall. Are you with me so far? This right here feels like that. I've never been to club before. I hit the club. I've never felt so free before. And now we see there's kind of a break. He's seeing behind the curtain, or better yet, he's out from behind the curtain, and now he sees reality, or he sees more. There's a point of realization, potentially. I mean, this is all conjecture at this point. I got temptation. That's another landmark. I'll bet he references that somewhere else in the album. That would make sense. Every morning, every night, lifeless, sickness, lightless, lonely. And in the morning, I feel love. I hug it in excitement. Every morning, every night, I always feel in sickness. And when I feel lonely, still got lifeless. I mean, that feels like you start off strong, and as time goes on, you start to get weaker. Interesting. Wow. Lost. Man, there's a lot to this. I told you, where are we at? We're at an hour. I told you that it was going to be this way. I warned you. Let's see, what am I missing here? Okay. So we talked about the 42, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. 101, we know, is the reflection in his eye. 81 has the smiley face now. There's a potential to go nowhere. Let me look something up real quick. Ooh. So you see this, hold on, you can't see my mouse right here? See this? We talked about this. Here's nowhere, very clearly. You see this word right here? Does anybody know what that says? Lackaden says, pierdut, lost in Romanian. Okay, that would make sense. Here's also what I found. Adjective, lost, of colors, pale, faded, of the eyes, blank. What was the last album that he did? Indigo, right? We went from monochrome, we went to indigo. And now we're back to this potentially faded loss of color. Potentially, right? And it makes sense. I mean, so Romanian, and I do have the etymology here. Let's see. Romanian, Polish. But in general, I do see this loss of color. It's pale or faded of the eyes. It's blank. Now, if you look at Lost, the video, and you say, well, did we see some blank stares? Did we see some dead eyes? Yeah, we saw that quite a bit. Okay. So, where were we? Boy, we cracked the can open on this one, didn't we? I'd be super curious to see how what we already have. We have Come Back to Me and we have Lost. When we get into the album tomorrow, we are going in track order. We're going to listen to every single song in order. If that song has a video, regardless of whether or not we've already watched it, we're going to watch it again, watch it in the order, and we're going to use that information based on where that song or video lands in the track list to then cross-reference with all the other information that we have along the way. Because, yeah, we feel a certain way about Come Back to Me. We think we have answers. We feel a certain way about Lost. We think we have some theories. And then we're going to take all that stuff and we're going to combine it with the information that we think we have, the theorize, with the whole album and see what we think fits. That's the fun stuff.